Hi, everyone. Um, so, most times when I get on, I am just full of positivity and happy and joyful and glad to be like doing things for my community and other people. Hi, Metaik. Um, I'm not okay. Tonight, I am not okay. Um, haven't been okay since like Friday. And tonight's a sleepless night. So, I don't know what to do about it. So, a lot of times we talk about doing, great things, but a lot of times I don't speak about what's called moral injury. In other words, coming upon situations that are horrible and awful, and sometimes being there doesn't matter. How you seen? Um, and that's the situation I found myself in. Is that um, there was significant trauma to others, and I felt helpless and hopeless, and it kind of threw me back to other situations that I felt hopeless in and powerless in, and so I've been trying to deal with that. um, I've always believed that by acting and by doing good and by making choices that benefit humanity, that we could change things. And while I still believe that in my soul, it's kind of something that I have to hold on to now because I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like the change is coming fast enough to save enough lives. I don't feel like there's enough being done. And I feel like I feel broken. I feel really broken. And I feel like I have given more than I can not have, right? That comes at me. And so I'm struggling, and I'm struggling to not say, actually. No, just kidding. I'm struggling to continue the work that I feel is so valuable. And not that I'm going to stop. I don't believe in giving up. Um, but I do know that it's been a long time since I've had such a hit to my soul. And that's kind of, what outreach does sometimes. And just an update on the situation that happened. She was swept. She was allowed to tow around the corner for 48 hours. Her phone is shut off, and I don't know what happened to her afterwards. And we may never know. We may never know where they were moved to until she gets phone service. Um, we got her phone, but yeah. And so what happened is that I watched this this crime against human rights, and we see it all the time. But sometimes it's hard when you can't save somebody, and I couldn't make it better. There was nothing I could do except be there. And that seems like so little, so little to do. And then because all I knew, right, was to videotape, just maybe show people what I saw. And it didn't matter. As a matter of fact, I was chided by some mutual aid workers that were concerned that by me posting the videos that these people would be targeted. And I see where they're coming from. I do. But I also know that without the world seeing what's happening, even if it's in somebody's worst moment, it can change things. And they were targeted, right? They were already being targeted. And so it was really just a very difficult situation. I want to say that I don't know what to do, but I mean, I do. You press on, you keep going, you keep giving, you keep doing. But sometimes I just don't feel like I have the strength. And tonight's one of those nights where I don't feel strong. I haven't felt strong in days. And my heart's just broken. I posted the video to every national organization that I could think of, and to our city officials here, and those that deal in homeless services, and on LinkedIn, and on all the places that it should go. And crickets. Just crickets. And this same outreach worker that was there talking to her, Bradley, was the same one that swept our encampment under East Lake. That's not outreach. That's not outreach. Taking everything people have from themselves. How could you do that? And even having her tow it, having them tow it around the corner for 48 hours. What, are they going to magically be able to fix this? No. Without help, they are just stuck. Oh. So sorry. Maybe I needed to cry. You see, where is the American government to help them? They always talk about medical insurance and provide more jobs, but they forget homeless people. The American government has, and actually it's not just the government, right? It's the people. The American people have believed for a long time in like personal success. So if you're not successful, then it must be something to do with you, personal failure. Now, we're behind the world, really, in knowing about social determinants of health and societal impacts of the policies and things that we've done throughout the years. Our infrastructure is poor. Our homeless numbers are rising. Our seniors are sick, are out there. Today, I went to a meeting And the meeting erupted, but that's not important. What's important is that we were listening to our palliative care team. Now, if you don't know, palliative care is a medical team that goes out and helps quality of life for those that have serious illnesses or maybe facing death. And so we're listening how, because we know there's tons of people just dying on the street, dying in tents. Like, we don't say this casually. It's not something that we throw around to, throw our arms in the air and say, oh, the humanity. No, really, there are people just undergoing these horrible things while on the street. And we have a team of three to handle hundreds. And in that, our health departments, our hospitals, our doctors cannot convince our city government to stop hurting people. Our mayor, Bruce Harrell, I remember talking to him we did this for Seattle Human Rights Commission. We did like a thing where the mayoral candidates could talk to each other, and Bruce Harrell, the whole thing was human rights, human rights, human rights. He doesn't care about human rights. Because if you care about human rights, then you wouldn't commit the atrocities that are happening right now. It's all words. It's all words. I'm just watching as our cities and our states start to criminalize poverty and criminalize homelessness. And when I tell you that sometimes there's very little you can do to pull yourself out of that situation, I mean it. The average age of death for somebody who is chronically on the streets is about 50, maybe a little over. Again, every month I get a list of people who are dying, or who have died. Sorry, are dying. That would be too exhaustive of a list. And this time, I got it yesterday. And so this time there were, while there's a lot of like ODs from fentanyl, there's also a lot of suicides. And we are treating our jails as mental health facilities because we just don't have we have mental health facilities, but they're nowhere near the capacity that we need them for. And so we are literally throwing people with mental illness and substance abuse disorder in jail. And I was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, when they get out. And I was like, here's the thing with that, right? Is when you are going through it in a crisis, in a mental health crisis, you're not really thinking clearly. And so to be placed in an environment where there are other people acting out and not acting appropriately or whatever, it can cause that crisis to go full bore. And so we have a rash of suicides. And somebody said, well, when they get out, and I said, they don't. A lot of times they don't get the chance to get out. A lot of times they'll commit suicide, or they get more time because they, do something while they're in there and, end up going into solitary confinement. These things the problems here are very, very deep. And we are working all the time. Like somebody asked me the other day, when do you rest? I don't want to. There's my alarm for work. goes off with my playlist. I have to go to work in like, um, an hour and 15 minutes. So I'll end up getting ready and putting on my makeup and smiling, and pretending like this all isn't just breaking my heart. And I'll keep going and I'll keep trying. But right now I'm walking around with a broken heart. Um, and I'm trying so hard to just patch it together and believe that there's hope for us. That humanity's really not this awful. But sometimes I just wonder if I'm full of shit. So I guess some days you win, some days you lose. Thanks, man. A lot of homeless people are good people, and it could happen to anyone. True. And that's the thing, is like we put value judgments on people based on their status. As a society, we believe they're either worth something or not. If with the number of times I've been thrown away, I just can't see doing that to others. I'm calming down. Hold on. Oh, I start to get worked up again. Your compassionate care is something this world needs more of. I wish. Hey, love from Indonesia. I thank you. There have been talk of making baking illegal here in Sweden, but I think it would be stupid and inhumane because it should never be wrong to ask for help. Right? Exactly. We were taught from the time we were young that when you need help, to ask for it. And then you do. And it turns into this judgment about who you are and what you are and what you deserve in this society as far as basic needs go. And it shouldn't be that way. And as far as begging, I had to beg. I had to panhandle. I had to spange. I had sometimes 4 to 5 medical appointments during the day. I had to go to food banks to provide food for our encampment. We had to gather water. The time commitment it takes to just take care of yourself and stay alive till you get housing is unbelievable. And sometimes the only energy when you're sick, when you're really sick, is all you can do is just stand out there for a little bit to hope that it just gets, somebody will give you a couple dollars to make it easier. And if people have a problem with that, like people have a problem with somebody asking for just a couple dollars, like where are we? We can handle signs in our faces talking about 50% off, clearance sale here, do this, spinning signs, people with waving signs. We can handle all of that until somebody needs help. And then we don't want to be faced with that. And what I told people is that I don't know. I just even lost track of where I was going with that. Yassine. I'm learning English from the best English coach in the world. AJ Hodge, by the way, he was homeless before he started his personal business. He talked about his experiences. I find that that's super helpful, and I think that we all need lived experience advocates. And just so everybody knows, Capitol Hill Day is on September 14th. Hope you can join us. I will be talking with 3 legislators or their staff, I guess. I hope we make an impact. And it's just not screaming into the void. Because until we can get the majority of the populace to understand that when they talk about seeing the homeless or the others or whatever names that they call people to put them into a marginalized group, um, that we are dealing with the consequences that we did. This is a consequence of not caring for people. This is a consequence of putting corporations above people. This is a consequence of exploitation of a demographic of a population. This is caused by racism and sexism and all these things, and it's going to take a lot. And I can't believe that I'm the only one that gets broken sometimes. I know that it's got to be across the board. And so I will go to work, and today is our One Health clinic, so I will be there with Donico and Neighbor Care, and we will be doing vet care and human care, and we will keep going, and I will keep going and doing all the things that I do. But for right now, I'm going to do them broken. So if you're broken too and you're struggling to carry on, you're not alone. And I truly believe that we can overcome it, and we can keep doing the right thing and the best thing. And there's got to be hope. Like, something's got to give, right? At some point, something's got to give. What I'm hoping is that there's not so much death and destruction before we change and before we make these changes. So I just thought that I would come on and just share with you all how I'm doing, and just kind of give you an update on a situation that I absolutely couldn't help it. And sometimes just bearing witness is painful. Because if I could have, I would have. I have nowhere for them to go. I just don't want to leave anybody behind. And I don't want to forget. So, anyway, that's real life right now. Thought I would come on and just kind of share my struggle with you. And thank you, Matt, for letting me know I'm not alone. And I wish the best for you. And I hope that all of us can really, dig deep inside ourselves for that compassion and that empathy, and for the recognition of the humanity in others. So anyway, sending tons of love. I actually have to go now because I have to start getting ready for work, which is going to be a very tired day. Hopefully I can pull through and rock this, and then I'll get some sleep maybe when I come home. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Good morning. Sorry for all the emotion, but I just kind of needed to get it out. And I actually feel a little better. So anyway, bye guys. I will talk to you later.